Hey everyone, welcome back to Rugged DIY. I'm Steve Mikulich, and today I'm going to continue working on the closet organizer. As I get started, I've got a couple of holes that I need to drill into the top shelf in order to prepare it for securing it to one of the side wall pieces of wood for the shelving. So I'm going to take care of that. After that's complete, then we'll clean everything up and get everything prepared to start priming all of the pieces of wood. We'll do a couple layers of primer, and once all the primer is done, we'll paint it, put a couple layers of the high gloss paint on it, and after that's done, we'll assemble everything, and then we'll go ahead and hang it up in the closet. The other thing that we need to do after we get the actual shelving portion attached is drill all of the holes for the movable shelves, so that you'll be able to stack the shelves in whatever spacing that you want. So we'll just continue the video today working on the shelving. Hopefully we'll get everything done this weekend and have all the shelving up so that next weekend we can start working on the French doors. So the first thing I'm going to do is drill the holes inside here. I'm going to have some concealed screws that I'm going to put right inside here. And as you saw in the last video, I routed out this space right here for the other wall or the other side of the shelving to sit in. Now the reason I did this was because I wanted to have additional surfaces for all the glue to kind of hold and add more stability to this side of the shelving. And I wanted to be able to put the fasteners on top so I can kind of conceal them. Because on the sides of this closet organizer, I'm going to have pocket hole screws, so you won't be able to see those fasteners because they'll be facing the wall. So I wanted to do this in order to keep it clean, and I think that this should add more stability to the shelving itself. So I'm going to go ahead and measure the center line of this routed out area, and then from the top, I'm just going to drill in a little bit. Let's see if I can find it. I've got this drill bit that will drill the hole for my screw, and it will cut a slight depression into the wood so that my screw will sit flush with the top of the wood. So I'll go ahead and get started with that. Okay, so I'm pleased with that. I think that's good enough, and I'm going to go ahead and start cleaning all these up. I've already sanded them all down so they're nice and smooth. So I'm just going to take a shop rag and wipe everything down, make sure that there's no excess dust. I'm going to set up my my sawhorses, so that I can lay out the wood and start coating them with the primer. And then once all of that's done and dry, like I said, we'll do the coats of the high gloss finish. Once that's all dry, we'll assemble everything and get everything ready to hang it. So. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and start applying the first coats of primer. This is gonna take a while. I've got all of these pieces that I've got to get primed and painted, and I've only got so much space that I can do it. So I'm gonna do coats. It'll take time, and it's gonna have to dry before I can flip it and do the other sides. And so this is gonna be a long process. I will only show a little bit of it, and I'll cut in, some of the variations and the different pieces that I'm doing. But this would be a very slow and boring video if I showed the entire process from beginning to end of priming, drying, flipping, priming, drying, flipping, over and over again. Because I'm going to do at least 2 coats of primer, and then I'll take a look at it and see how much the wood is coming through. Because the more primer that I get on, the less I'll have to do with the high gloss paint. The high gloss paint goes on really thin, and it takes a lot of coats to get that high gloss paint to look nice. So I want to try to get on as much primer as possible, get a nice coat on there so that I can do maybe 1, at most 2 coats of the high gloss paint. So I'm gonna go ahead and continue with this, and I'll cut in a couple of different of the pieces so that you'll be able to see the various pieces, and then I'll cut to the assembly. Hey everyone, welcome back. It's the next day. I spent all day yesterday applying all of the layers of paint on the wood. And we've got, on some of them, we've got 2 to 3 coats. So the high gloss latex paint should have a nice application and have a nice shiny finish on all of this wood. Now today I'm going to spend the day painting the high gloss paint, but we're not going to assemble anything today because we want to give at least a week of cure time for the latex paint so that it hardens. So when we're attaching everything, that we don't end up with any of the paint kind of ripping off or anything like that. Now, latex paint typically has about a 2-week cure time before it's hardened. In Maryland right now it's very humid, so it'll probably be longer than a 2-week cure time, even with the dehumidifier running in the room. But I figure at least a week for the paint to harden before we assemble everything. Now, once it is all hardened next week and we assemble everything, we should be able to go ahead and hang it next week right after assembly. So we'll be able to assemble the full thing and hang it. What I might do throughout the week next week is cut all of the shelves and stain those as well, so that we can add the shelves in and have the full finished process. But we'll see. I mean, we can always add the shelves at a later time. Now, after we finish the closet organizer, the next thing to do is to get up the French doors. So after this is complete, we'll get the door jamb all put in for the French doors. We'll cut the French doors, paint them, hang them, and then that just leaves us with doing the molding or trim around the room and around the windows. And then we'll either replace the fixtures or clean them up and put new faceplates on, put the registers on all of the vents. And then at that point, we're pretty much ready for carpet. So we'll go ahead and get all of the carpet put in at that point. And then after that, I'll start working on the crawl space and redoing all of the insulation there. Now inside that crawl space, I'm gonna remove all of the old insulation and I'm gonna put new fiberglass insulation in, but I'm also going to add I think it's about 2.5 inch foam that's gonna have an aluminum sheeting over top of it. And that aluminum sheeting will be placed along the roof so that as the heat comes in, that aluminum will actually reflect it and send it out. So that'll keep this upstairs much cooler. And that additional foam will add insulation to help keep the temperature more consistent as well. And so that will be the next project. After we get this room all done, get the carpet in, we'll start working on that insulation. But back to this project, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I'm gonna start painting. I'm not gonna show every single piece getting painted. I'll catch a little bit of that footage so that you can see just the process of the painting. We'll cut the video at that point, and then we'll just pick up next weekend with the assembly and installation. All right, I'm gonna end it right there today. We've got all of the coats of the high gloss paint on. It's gotta dry. Like I said, it's gonna take about a week or so for that to dry. So we'll pick back up next week and we'll go ahead and assemble this and get this installed and continue with this project. We're almost done with the bedroom renovation. I've got so much left to do, which is great because I'll be able to keep bringing these videos. Hopefully they're helpful and motivational, really. The reason I started all of this, which I've kind of talked about in other videos before, is I'm sure that there are other people like me out there who aren't trained at doing their own renovations, at doing this sort of work, but see it more as a hobby like myself. I enjoy doing these things. And so I teach myself, and a lot of it I've learned by watching other people's videos and learning from their experience. But I hope that when people come here and see these videos, that it's not just people who want to see how I'm doing something and mirror exactly what I'm doing, but are coming here to see that there are other DIYers who are teaching themselves as they go, are learning from their mistakes, and aren't scared to attack a project and try to learn something, gain a skill, and just get the satisfaction of working with your hands and accomplishing something and seeing the products of your labor. I think that's, you know, really important, you know, just as the human needs, especially in this time where many of us are locked up in our homes. We can't really go anywhere or do anything right now, and it looks like we're gonna be spending more time at home in the near future. So, you know, I encourage all of you, stay busy, find things that, that interest you, gain a skill, you know, build something, feel the accomplishment of completing something, and not doing it for anybody else, but just simply for your own enjoyment. You know, that's one thing that's really kept me sane over this year, is having all of these projects to do. And if you don't own a house, that doesn't mean that you can't build something. You know, you may not need to build a closet organizer that you're attaching to the wall. Maybe you need to build a bookshelf. Maybe you want to build some hanging shelves. Maybe you just want to build something and sell it just because you don't need it, but you enjoy, you know, the challenge. So I encourage all of you who watch these videos, who may be sitting at home right now thinking of or trying to figure out something to do, choose a project and just do it. And if you make a mistake, just spend the time fixing it. And if you have to trash it and start over because you mess it up completely, that's fine. Just do it. Just try it. Do something. Keep yourselves busy and stay sane. All right. I'll see you guys in the next video. I appreciate you coming. If you did enjoy the video, please like and subscribe, because the more likes and subscribers that I get, the more YouTube's going to prioritize my videos, and the more it'll go to people who are also looking for this type of content. Thank you very much.